Rather lads, welcome back to 99 Sport. My name is Cossy. One signing every Premier League team in the top 10 should bring in this January. I mean, such an easy video. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. One signing every Premier League team in the top 10. Look, I can't do 20 teams. I can, but I don't have that time. I'm going to do the top 10. There is only one team that I will replace. I replace Leicester City. Instead of Leicester City, I will be doing Everton because I think Everton, they're strictly underperforming. They're actually underperforming as compared to what we expect them to be doing. So these are the teams we'll be looking at. In the top 10, Manchester City, number 1, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Wolves, Brighton. And instead of Leicester City, I've gone with Everton because I think they have more problems and they have more needs in terms of who should be coming in and who should be coming actually in terms of who should be coming in. So one signing, every Premier League team in the top 10 needs. Do smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Let's get the party started. And of course, we will not go in alphabetical order this time. Let's start off with Everton in number 10 that are replacing in Leicester City. Everton this season, they are 15th at the moment. They are really having a very, very bad season under Rafa Benitez. I mean, the fans did have a time when they decided to protest against the regime. They wanted him out, and somehow he's still the manager. He's still there at Everton Football Club. They've been affected by injuries. I think no one really expect them to be doing this poorly. They started off very well, but injuries have been their major problem. DCL played 3 games only, and I know we know how much Calvin Lewin is an important player for them. And when he gets injured, 3 games inside the season, the replacement. I don't know how they decided on this, but I think it's been a very, very big problem for them. Solomon Rondon was the man that actually had to come in to step in. Solomon Rondon. Oh my God! If we would be ranking the worst backups in the Premier League, Solomon Rondon ranks in position 1. So I mean, the injury of DCL, the injury of players like Abdoulaye Doucouré. I mean, if you look at how they start the season and how injuries have really affected them, then you might give Rafa Benitez maybe something to, just a benefit of the doubt that he can do the job if injuries were not there. For Everton, I've suggested a striker, and I've gone with Patrick Schick. Look, Patrick Schick is having a very, very good year. He's been linked with a couple of clubs, Manchester City, Arsenal, and a couple of others. But I think Everton could use the services of Patrick Schick even more. Considering the fact that DCL is having a long-term injury, you do not know when it's coming back, and even if when it comes back, you do not actually know whether it's gonna come back. In the same form. Yes, he scored 3 goals in 3 games at the beginning of the season, but they're not sure about that. So Patrick Schick for me, great striker. I think he would really, really fit in with the likes of Andre Townsend and the likes of Sigurdsson. I think they just need a striker to get going again. Patrick Schick for Everton. Let me know if you agree with me or not. In number 9 is Brighton. Brighton. It's a great season, and what a great job the manager there is really, really doing. They are unbelievable. They are absolutely unbelievable. And of course, you've got to think about it. They started off the season very, very well. They were part of the top 4. I think in 10 games, they're part of that top 4. They were trying to hang on, and this is the beauty when you hang on, when you Brighton and you hang on there. I mean, you're falling into 9th. They're not really poor, but their problem from last season to this season is scoring goals. They just need a striker, and I thought that is a problem they were going to work on in the summer. They do have Danny Welbeck. I do not think he is the striker that should be playing for them there. And I've suggested Eddie Nketiah. Now, they've been linked with Eddie before, right from last season, even this January, they've been linked with Eddie Nketiah. I think they just need someone to cross the ball, to make the ball cross the line. Eddie Nketiah would be a very, very good one. He's a free option in the summer. That means if you go for him in January, it's going to be just the bargain. You're going to pay around 8 to 10 million euros, even if it's not, it could be less than that. I mean, Arsenal, no, they're not going to retain him. And the player, I think for Eddie, it's going to be very good because he wants to stay in the UK. It's an opportunity for him to stay in the UK and show Arsenal what he's made of. So probably, Brighton, why don't you go for Eddie Nketiah? That is a very, very good signing. And I think in terms of scoring goals, Eddie would actually try to help them in that area. I do not know, but I think Eddie would be a very, very good good player. Number 8 is Wolves, and Wolves, their problem is scoring goals. Now the Foxes have only scored 14 goals this season in 19 appearances. That means they cannot average a goal per 90, and it's not Raul Jimenez. I mean, I've thought about Raul Jimenez, and look, I think the structure behind Raul Jimenez is so good. The likes of Daniel Petenz, the likes of Moutinho, Ruben Neves, they're so good, but I just feel like they need another source of goals, right? And the reason is, if Raul Jimenez is not scoring, this team is just seems out of options. It looks like it is out of options. So I've suggested a player that they would, I don't know if he can make the switch, if they can make the switch, but it is Rafinha from Leeds. And later I would really suggest Rafinha for another club later on. But I think Wolves, even if they do not get Rafinha, I thought about Maina Solomon, the young man at Shakhtar, and I also thought about Rafinha. But what they need at the moment is, another source of goals. That's what they need. They need a player who's not going to directly replace Raul Jimenez, because there are also things they get from him, the hold-up play and things like that. But they just need another source of goals. Like you see Liverpool, they have Jota there, they have Mane and Salah. You just need that kind of variety, and they are just not having it at the moment. They are really scoring very, very low. And it's impressive with what Bruno Lage has done with his team, that they really concede very little as well. In 19 games, they have only conceded 14 times. That means they do not concede a goal. They concede less than a goal per 90. As much, they concede at the same rate as they score. So that shows you they just need to, defensively, they're doing a very, very good job. They just need to go up there and start scoring the goals. They have, I think they have very, very good players in Trincao. And Trincao, Podence, Pedro Neto, if he comes back, is another very, very good player. They just need to find that touch. They just need to find a player who can give them more goals. I've gone with Rafinha. They could sign him from Leeds. Now, Manchester United, there's so many problems with United. I mean, I thought about them really deeply. Ralf Rangnick, the introduction of Ralf Rangnick has changed the dimension of Manchester United. And now the players they're looking at, you can see they're looking at, they're no longer looking at Haaland. They're looking at, players like, Julian Alvarez. It's the dimension of football and the kind of football they're playing has really changed. But at least one thing has not changed. They need a defensive midfielder that is really decent. And that is what they need. I've suggested Dennis Zakaria. I mean, I wanted to say Ruben Neves, really, but I've suggested Dennis Zakaria. Easy deal to do. I think United should be doing this one. Easy deal to do. I mean, it's gonna be a free agent in the summer. They just need that kind of player who is a rock but also has the ability to play football. My problem with Scott McTominay is he can win the ball at times if he does, but then his passing is absolutely awful. Very awful. He can have some good games like against Burnley, but he can have very poor games where the team is absolutely dominated. We saw it against Wolves. So with Dennis Zakaria, I think you could be also you can also be able to use players like Donny van der Beek alongside him and players like Paul Pogba, because I think what Paul Pogba needs is a cushion. He just needs a rock behind him. And then, he's comfortable going forward and controlling the midfield. They have a very good player in Paul Pogba. Can they get a defensive midfielder just to protect that back four, just to, allow them control games more, control midfields more? Zakaria, for me, is the player for Manchester United this January. Go for him and you will see a difference. Spurs then, I've suggested Dejan Kulusevski. Look, I think with Spurs, they will need more than one signing, but we are only saying one signing that they should bring in. And I've gone with Dejan Kulusevski. Now, they've been linked with Kulusevski, Vlahovic, Patrick Schick, and a couple of other players around Europe. But I think with Spurs, at the moment, Antonio Conte has made them a really, really disciplined unit. Defensive-wise, they're doing better. In terms of midfield, they're doing better. And also going forward, if you look at Moura, Son, and Kane, they're doing very, very well. I think they just need now that kind of player that can be, that kind of, entrepreneurial, forward. They just need that kind of very, very versatile player. And Dejan Kulusevski, not being utilized at Juventus, could be the man. Probably, if they can, put in that bid, it's going to be an easy deal for them to do. Dejan Kulusevski to Spurs would be a wonderful signing. They're in. Now, moving on to up the list from Spurs to West Ham. West Ham, what a season they're having under David Moyes. I think that is one thing we can't throw away. They're having a season of wonders. The likes of Joran Bowen, Pablo Fornals, Declan Rice, Ben Rama. I mean, when I think about that team, I'm really, really excited. They have collected 34 points in 20 games. They're 1 point behind the team in top 4, which is Arsenal, and they have played the same number of games. But if you look at the next game, Arsenal playing Spurs, and West Ham have a softer game, they could come back to the top 4. They've been top 4 challenges all the season, and they're back to claim what they believe is theirs. But I think their problem is if Mikel Antonio goes away, they do not have a cover, and also they just need another striker. As simple as that. They just need someone who's going to be another striker, another source of goals. I mean, it's quite easy. Andrea Bellotti then is the player I've gone for West Ham. I think they can use Bellotti. They will need a player like Andrea Bellotti. And Bellotti is going to be a free agent. He's not going to sign a new contract with Torino, and he's going to be moving on. For me, I think Andrea Bellotti, again, he's not that kind of striker that has become really gone to another level, but also I feel like he's that kind of player that if he goes from Torino to West Ham, it's a good move. He can be at West Ham for 2 years and then he moves on to a bigger club. Alternatively, if they cannot go for Bellotti, they could also use the services of a player like Ivan Toney. But I've gone with Andrea Bellotti, free agent in the summer. It's gonna be a bargain in January. Why not West Ham? Just bringing that cover, just bringing that backup to the man himself. Mikel Antonio, and sign Andrea Bellotti. In number 4 is the club in themselves, the biggest club in London, Arsenal Football Club. And Arsenal, they've lost 2 midfielders and they're losing Ainsley Maitland-Niles. At this point in time, it is very, very easy to figure out. They do needing a new midfielder. Now, there's so many midfielders around the world. There's so many midfielders that are been linked with Arsenal. But I'm going to suggest one name that I think Arsenal desperately need. They need someone who can be better than Granit Xhaka and can also play with Thomas Partey in the midfield. That man is none other than that name. Right, Bruno Guimaras is the man I've gone for Arsenal. I think he's just exciting. They wanted him in the summer. He was available for around 25 million euros. The player decided to stay in France with Lyon. In this January, they'll need to pay a very, very astronomical price. But we're not looking at the price. We're looking at what they need. If they can get in Bruno Guimaras, he would be a very, very good signing for them. And I think Arsenal fans know that there's no midfielder at the moment that's going to give them something very, very interesting as Bruno Guimaras. I've thought about the likes of Ruben Neves as well. I've thought about the likes of Cossy and Zakaria, but Guimaras is that kind of hybrid, that kind of very, very entertaining player that they need in that area. Liverpool, I've gone with Kingsley Coleman. At one point in time, Liverpool will have to let go of Sadio Mane or Salah, because of age, because of form, or because of any other reason. So Salah, Mane, they just need someone. They just need to start thinking about life. Ahead of Salah, ahead of Mane as well. And I've thought about it. Kingsley Coleman is already having problems with Bayern Munich. They wanted him last summer, and you never know. Go for him in January. Bayern are linked with Rafinha at the moment. Alternatively, Liverpool can also go for Rafinha, but I think a wise signing would be Kingsley Coleman. Again, another player that can give you that width right there, but also very, very, very impressive. Chelsea, I've gone for Nicolas Tagliafico. They just need a left back. Chilwell is going to be out for a very, very long time. And Marcus Alonso, yes, at times he's good, at times he's bad. He's kind of a problem. I've gone with Nicolas Tagliafico. He's a free agent in the summer. I think it would be a very, very easy bargain. But also Lucas Digne is someone they are really looking at. But I've said go for Nicolas Tagliafico because their main fullback in terms of a left back is Ben Chilwell. So if he comes back, Tagliafico can then make way, sit on the bench patiently because again Chelsea is a big club. Tagliafico at the moment is not really having game time at Ajax. If you give him a chance, an opportunity to play for Chelsea, he can't turn that down. And finally, Manchester City. They need a striker. They just need someone who can, cross, make the ball cross the line. Same problem. I think their problem is not that they're not scoring goals. That's not their problem. Their problem is nothing at the moment. But they will just need someone, to get those decisive goals. You saw it against Arsenal. Rodri getting a very, very exciting goal. But again, in that area, there should be someone. Dusan Vlahovic is the name I've decided. And I'm recommending Arsenal fans who know that I'm a very, very big Arsenal fan. They'll be like, he's a hypocrite. No, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm only suggesting that in terms of what they need, Manchester City, they just need that quality striker. They just need that quality forward. And I think Dusan Vlahovic is the man right for them. It's gonna be a bargain. It's gonna be a bargain if they try. I mean, they need to replace Sergio Aguero at some point in time. Pep has come out and said last summer that strikers are really expensive. Now they're not expensive. They are not expensive. Go for one. Go for Dusan Vlahovic. Could be around 55 million euros. I think that is a very, very good price. Let me know which player your team needs this January, and I'll react to that very, very soon.